It was a rainy evening when Sarah left her friend's house, heading for her apartment on the other side of town. The streets were empty, the kind of eerie silence that seemed to swallow every sound, except for the gentle patter of raindrops against her umbrella. As she walked, she couldn't shake the feeling that she was being watched. It wasn't uncommon for Sarah to feel uneasy when walking home late at night, but tonight was different. Her skin prickled as though someone was standing right behind her. She turned quickly, half expecting to catch a glimpse of someone in her peripheral vision, but the street was deserted. Shaking her head, she kept walking, but the feeling didn't go away. It grew stronger, more insistent, and then she heard it. Footsteps, light, quick, and growing louder. She spun around again, heart racing. The street was still empty. No one was there. Sarah's breath quickened as she started walking faster, trying to calm herself. Her phone buzzed in her pocket. A message from her friend, Laura. "You okay? You seem off. Call me when you get home." Sarah was about to respond when she heard it again. This time the footsteps were unmistakable. They were close, too close. She stopped in her tracks, her pulse pounding in her ears, and then she saw him. A man stood in the middle of the street, ahead of her, under the flickering glow of a street light. He was tall, his posture unnaturally straight, and his face was wrong. His smile stretched unnervingly wide, far wider than any human smile should go, exposing teeth that looked too sharp, too white. His eyes were hollow like dark pools of nothing, and he just stood there, grinning. Sarah's breath hitched in her throat, and she took a step back. The man tilted his head, as though considering her. Then, slowly, he took a step forward. A primal terror shot through her. She turned and began to run, her heels slapping against the wet pavement, the sound of his footsteps now in perfect rhythm with her own. Her heart hammered in her chest as she pushed herself harder, her legs burning, but the sound of his approach never slowed. The road was empty, dark, and distant from any open businesses or lights. Her phone buzzed again, but she couldn't afford to check it. She had to get away. She turned a corner, her eyes frantically scanning for any sign of life, any sign of safety. But there was nothing. The street was a ghost town. And then she heard it, a whisper. The voice was low, almost like a hum, but it was coming from all around her. "You can't run from me, Sarah. You can't run from me forever." She spun around. There was no one there, but the whispering grew louder, more urgent. She gasped as she suddenly felt something cold brush against the back of her neck, like a breath too close, too intimate. Without thinking, she spun around again, and there he was, standing just inches from her face. That smile, that terrible, impossible smile. His breath was cold against her skin. "You don't remember me, do you?" he whispered, his voice like nails on a chalkboard. "I've been watching you for so long, waiting." Her mind scrambled, but nothing clicked. She tried to scream, but her throat was dry, her voice gone. The man's grin only grew wider, impossibly wide, stretching and pulling at the edges of his face until his skin tore slightly at the corners of his mouth, revealing an endless darkness behind his smile. "I'm going to make you remember," he said, his voice now a sharp, cutting whisper. "I'm going to make you remember everything." Suddenly, Sarah remembered. Her memory rushed back in a flood, and she gasped as the realization hit her like a wave. The man wasn't a stranger. He was him. The man she thought was just a nightmare. the one who had been in her dreams for months, the one who always watched from the corners of her mind, waiting to make his move. He had been following her for years, watching her from the shadows, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. She stumbled backward, desperate to escape. But the moment her foot hit the pavement, she knew it was too late. The man's hand shot out and grabbed her by the wrist, his fingers icy cold. She tried to pull away, but his grip tightened, and then, with a sickening crack, his fingers bent unnaturally backward, the joints snapping as he twisted her arm. "No one escapes me, Sarah," he hissed, his voice a deep, guttural growl. "Not now, not ever." In the final fleeting moment before everything went black, Sarah realized something terrifying. The man wasn't just a psycho. He wasn't just a monster hiding in plain sight. He was the nightmare she had been running from her entire life. And now he was real. And he was never going to let her go.